done? Okay. Until you're done? So what do we see here? Our brain forms associations, and if you look at the groups, you have a group, in each group you have around 5 or 6 words, right? So when you thought, your thought process might not be as sequential, you wouldn't see all words together all the time, right? When you probably started writing mom, you will write mom, dad, brother, sister. But later you want to add somebody else, you want to add a cousin of yours or something. It comes somewhere in below. So you have different groups. Your brain stores everything with associations, and all those associations form clusters. There are different groups of words which are stored at. So when I say family, each of you have 10, 12 different names that come to your mind that you want to attribute to it. So everything is stored. Brain stores information in the form of pictures, which is what we saw in the imagination exercise, and brain forms associations. So a word that I say might not mean the same to everybody. Each of us have got our own associations, which is based on our past experience, our learning, or whatever are the things that we remember, the good bad things that have happened to us or to others, what you have heard of. Based on that, you form your association. So our brain works with images, and all these images are linked. All of you agree with this? Based on whatever we have done now? Then our brain uses words to trigger these images. So given without me saying the word love, if I generally ask you to write 15 different things, will you write about everything about love? No. You've all written all those associations, you've all brought them out because of a word that I said. So words are used to trigger our brain to get out all these images. And everything what we saw in the imagination exercise, everything is a 3D image. You never store information in your brain as, when I say love, you don't start it off as LOV. You don't store information like that. It's all a 3D pictorial image. So that you've seen the mind map, right? You have seen the mind map there where I showed you about Tony, I showed you about myself. What have I done here? I've grouped information into different categories, and I've plotted all of them. I've plotted them pictorially, and I've formed all associations, all related things, I put them together. So that's how your brain stores information. So your brain naturally mind maps. So mind map starts with a central image. Mind map goes ahead with radiating arms. Each arm deals with a particular topic that you want to talk about. Coming from it are sub-branches which talk about more about that topic. So if you were to draw a mind map of love, how would your mind map look like? What would be the main arms that you would have there, Jenny?
It will be
people, events, likings, and nature. Kanchan, what would you have if you were to mind map on the word love?
It will start with family, then feelings or emotions, then celebrate or experience, then characteristics of love, visual representation, and nature.
And nature. And if I say, okay, feelings or emotions, what would be the sub-branches of feelings or emotions based on what you have written?
Happiness, sorrow.
Happiness, sorrow, right? And under happiness, what are the different things? Under sorrow, what are the different things that you want to put? Yeah? So each of you, when you look at the words that you have written, you figure out how you can naturally mind map it, and that's how your brain had stored information. We just tried putting on paper the way our brain stores information. We didn't really think about those, right? So your brain mind maps naturally. And that's the advantage of creating things and remembering things using mind maps. Because if I have a lot of text, okay, I try reading the entire text, I try recalling the entire text. It gets very difficult for me. But just imagine, I read the entire text, I mind map it, and that's how I learn. Right? So my brain stores the mind map as it is. So I'm feeding my brain information in the way it can naturally store. So do you think the storage then will be more effective? Right? I'm not feeding brain black and white text. I'm using a lot of color. I'm using a lot of pictures. I'm basically giving information to my brain the way it naturally stores. And that's how we're trying to recall. So do you think it's going to help? It's much better than your conventional fashion. So that's the power of mind mapping. Okay. I'll show you two pictures which I put up in the morning. So, Professor Lanky, we all studied in college, university, a lanky professor with specs and lots of books with him, and who always talks about. So what impression has come to your mind? Can you describe that person? You all have faced lanky professors in college. What impression comes to your mind? Can you think of all possible words that come to your mind?
Yeah, introvert, he keep on reading.
Introvert, keeps on reading.
Khadus.
Khadoos, wow. Yeah, sums it all. Yeah.
Boring.
Boring,
Irritating.
irritating,
Very studious.
studious,
Intelligent.
intelligent. You were saying something.
Serious.
Serious, okay.
Not neat.
What else?
Their clothes are not neat.
Eccentric. Wow. Yeah, eccentric.
They are not neat or smart.
Not neat or shabby. Yeah. What else? Who always talks about logic.
Always prefers to take lecture.
Always prefers to take lecture.
Upset 30,000 feet.
Third talks at 30,000 feet. Gives you all kinds of equations which you don't figure out what the symbols are. Yeah. And reads lots of books. Expects you all to read lot of books all the time. Okay.
Everything is wrong.
Hates
Everything
must
that
be.
is.
Hates must be. Wow. We all came across those kind of professors in college, right?
Extra lectures.
Takes extra lectures. He thinks of lecturing all the time. Okay, think of Romeo. Okay, typical Govinda attire. Red shirt, yellow trousers, and whistling away to glory. So what comes to your mind? What are the different things that you
Happy-go-lucky
Happy
kind of a guy.
Happy-go-lucky, bindas,
Fun.
wears goggles even when it's raining.
Yeah.
What else?
Like.
Fun-loving,
Flashy.
flashy, colorful,
Not too choosy about education.
not too choosy about education, bindas, live life my own style. Okay? What else?
There is always a bike and
There's always a bike and girls behind him. Wow. At least even if he doesn't have, he dreams of having some girls behind him. What else?
Leads happy life.
Leads a happy life,
Stylish.
stylish,
Trendy.
Likes to spend.
likes to spendthrift,
Live and let live.
live and let live. What, Vibhu? I know you're really sober and nice and calm person, but you could still
No lecture. Nothing to say.
nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Of what else? What does the roadside Romeo do all the time?
Daydreamer.
Daydreamer. Imagine that Mukesh Ambani will adopt him and give him all his inheritance.